Good morning Year 3 and welcome to Tuesday's maths lesson. Today we're going to start off with some mental maths where we're going to be subtracting ones. Then we're going to move on and do some more work on fractions, and today we're going to be having a look at putting fractions in size order. So we'll start off with a quick reminder of what we mean when we talk about subtraction and the different words that can be used that mean the same thing. So we've got subtraction, we could say subtract, we could say minus, less, decrease, take away, fewer, leave, and difference. Any of those words that you see there will mean a subtraction calculation. So we're going to start today by taking away ones from up to 3-digit numbers, and we're going to be using some partitioning to do that. We have looked at this before, but this is just a quick reminder. If we've got 13 and we need to take away 4, I know that if I take away 3, I'll get back to 10. So I can split my 4 into a 3 and a 1, so I can take away 3 and then I can take away the other 1 to give me my answer of 9. And if you look down below, we can see how that is shown on the number line. If we start at 13, take away 3 gets us back to 10, and then we've got one more to take away that gets us back to 9. Now today you're going to be needing to use your number bonds to 10 to partition the ones digit to cross back. Give yourselves about 5 minutes. We're all see how many of those you questions can answer today, and then we'll come back. If you need to, you can use some jottings to help you calculate. Okay, pause the video. How did you get on while you do these questions? Grab yourself a pen. Don't have to do all of them. You choose your challenge. If you got any of them wrong, have another look at them or use your jottings to work it out again and see what it was where you went wrong, because that is always helpful for our learning. Great job. Now we're going to moving on to ordering unit fractions. So can you remember what a unit fraction is? We looked at these yesterday. That's right, a unit fraction is any fraction with a numerator of 1. And to be successful today, you're going to need to use some bar models to show the fractions. You need to know that the denominator shows how many equal parts the whole thing has been split into, and you're going to be able to order fractions on a number line. So we've got a short clip to watch that is explaining what you need to do. Here we go.
So now that you're able to count up in fractions, we need to think about where would we place fractions on a number line? How can we compare them? Take a look at these fractions. What do you notice? What's the same? What's different? Well, the numerators are all the same. They're all 1. Do you remember what we call those kind of fractions? That's right. They're called unit fractions. So where would these unit fractions go on the number line below? We have a start point of 0 and an end point of 1. Which fraction would you start with? I think I'd start with the easiest one. The one that has a denominator of 2. Why? Because I'd only have to break that number line into 2 equal pieces. And that's usually where I start when I'm looking at a number line. I look at the midpoint. There's the midpoint, 2 equal pieces. That's where 1/2 goes. Now where should we go? Well, if we think about 2 equal pieces, and we divided each of those 2 equal pieces in half, what would we end up with? That's right. We'd end up with quarters, 4 equal pieces. The only problem is we don't have any fractions with a denominator of 4. But we do have one with a denominator of 8. What could we do with those 4 equal pieces to make it into 8 equal pieces? We could divide each of those 4 in half. That gives us 8 equal pieces. Do you see where 1/8 would go? Exactly. So we show 1/2 and we've shown 1/8. But how can we show 1/3 and 1/6? Well, I think we need to think about getting rid of some of these lines. Let's just keep it simple. Quarters and halves. We need to divide the number line into 3 equal pieces. Would that be greater than a fourth or less than a fourth? 4 equal pieces, 3 equal pieces. Let's show that. We can show that by placing these orange lines on the number line. Those orange lines indicate 3 equal pieces. And now we can place 1/3 on the number line. Now, our last one, 1/6. What could we do to show 6 equal pieces? We've got 3 equal pieces. That's right, we could divide each of those in half. We can see here with the yellow line and the orange lines that we now have 6 equal pieces. And therefore, we can place 1/6 on the number line. What do you notice about the denominators?
So, what do you notice about the denominators? Well, can you see that, so the bigger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. And you'll need to remember that for when we're doing our work tasks in just one moment. So here you are, your tasks. 3 tasks today. The first one, the core and the extension are starting with the same task, showing fractions on the bar models, and then it asks you which fraction is the largest, which fraction is the smallest, and then asking you to put them in the correct place on the number line. The simplified task has already got the bar models shaded in, and it's asking you to circle or to put the fractions in order, but notice this one goes from smallest to largest, and the second one asks you to go from largest to smallest. Okay, so task 2 is asking you to write the fractions in order, and it's asking you to start with the largest fraction. Now, you might remember or have a look back and see what we said about the order of fractions. The smaller the fraction. Remember, the bigger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. And then the simplify task. You need to shade in fractions on the circles to show from the smallest fraction to the largest fraction, and then write each fraction under the circle. So for example, the smallest fraction is going to be just 1 part. And that's going to represent 1/10. And then you need to continue increasing the size of the fraction and recording the fraction underneath the circle. And then once you've done that, we've got task 3. For this one, you'll need to have a dice or a spinner, and that is going to tell you what your denominator is going to be. So you need to roll the dice, and for example, if it came up with a 6, that will be your denominator. They're all going to be unit fractions, So they're all going to have 1 as their numerator. So we'd roll a 6 and our fraction would be 6. And then I want you to roll the dice 3 more times so that you've got 4 different unit fractions in total, and then write them in order from smallest to largest. Don't forget, you can pause the video, go back, listen to things again if you're struggling, and have fun. It's really great getting all your work, and we love seeing it, so if you're able to send it in by 3:30 if possible, that's really great. And then Wednesday's lesson will be available from 5 o'clock today. In the meantime, take care, and I'll see you again tomorrow.